Hi everyone, Max McTavish, Townshift. Hope you're well. Today I thought we'd discuss the launch of the Line 6 Helix Stadium. It's been out a couple of months now, so I thought we'd great opportunity to look back and see where we are. The vibe in the community seems to be quite complicated at the moment. I think that's fair to say. So I've got a few notes. I'll just go through that. On a positive note, it's been the new Agoura amp modelling has gone down really well. It is a step forward. It feels great. As you can probably see, I'm a fanboy all the way there. So no surprise I'm going to say that, because I really do like the way that Line 6 models things. It is a step up from Helix. It's not huge, but I think a lot of it is in the actual feel of the amps, the way that you operate the unit with the touchscreen, etc. All that's been received really well in the community. I think that's fair to say. However, as I said, it is complicated. So it was born with quite a lot of issues, and that's quite unusual for a product like this. I mean, I dread to think how much it cost to develop this particular piece of kit. Guesstimates in the 5 to 10 million, I would have thought, to develop it. That wouldn't be a stretch, I don't think. Yeah, so the biggest issues, I think, are the bugs that still exist right now. We're on firmware 1.2, so I think when we got it, it was on 1.0. We were asked to update to 1.1 immediately by Eric and the team over there at Line 6 headquarters, which we did, which I did anyway. So I'm on 1.2 now, because there's been another update from them with a couple new amps and some bug fixes. There is a beta team working on it, I'm aware of. Obviously, you can't say if you're on beta teams or not, so I can't really answer any questions about that, if I was or if I'm not. There is an NDA to sign if you're on those teams, and they're quite strict with it. But I think it's fair that we do discuss the some of the problems that people have been reporting. And you'll see it on the gear page and quite a lot of the other forums. So I really am surprised that a lot of the big players on YouTube didn't pick up on a lot of these bugs earlier. I think they could have done better. I think that's fair to say. Yeah, and then not to really be dead clear about exactly what stage the software and firmware was at. I think they've missed a little bit there, and I think it shows. In any case, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not sponsored. I've got no need to say it's great or not. I don't sell them. I'm not making any money from it. I use all kinds of things. You can see that I'm a Line 6 fanboy, so you'd think I was going to say everything's honky-dory and going out and buy one, and yay. That's not the case. I think it's complex, like I said. So let's talk about some of the bugs that have been some of the biggest issues that people have been reporting. So one of the biggest problems is the snapshots. There's a couple of things with them. One, there's a delay on the snapshot switch, which the whole idea behind the snapshot was it would be instant. You wouldn't need to. It's not like changing a preset. You're just changing configuration of your actual blocks that you've got in that particular preset, and so that was quick. At the moment, there's an issue where I think the figure's 100 milliseconds between one snapshot and another one, depending on what you're switching. And that's really not good enough. I mean, the original Helix, I think, was down to 5 milliseconds or something, so that's a huge difference. And yes, I appreciate that, it's got 10 years on this bit of kit, but that's kind of one of the things that it's a selling point for the gear, and really Line 6 should have got that sorted. That would have been number one. And the other issue is the snapshot bypass. So at the moment, there's an issue around snapshot bypass, remembering whether the amp block is at 20% or 5%. It's not remembering the parameters that you're storing, and in some cases not remembering whether the actual drive is on or the chorus is on or the delay is on and off, and which is obviously quite a problem. Now, there are some workarounds for that, and if you look on around the forums, there's plenty of information on that. Toggling the bypass state on and off sometimes corrects it, deleting the block and bringing it back in, and that covers it as well. I know I've been discussing directly with some Line 6 staff about it. They were unaware that we were having to save in between snapshot creation as well. So there's a lot of issues around snapshots that definitely need sorting out. There's an issue where the volume jumps, depending again what you've got in that snapshot. Now, to me, it's a deal breaker, really. Now, yes, I've got the kit here. I've still got my old Helix, but I've got the kit here. I've took it out gigging twice. Twice I've had problems with that particular issue. That's not the only issue I've had. In a live environment, though, that was the issue I was having, so I was having to make changes on the fly. We haven't got pedal edit mode yet. Whether we're getting it or not, I don't know, which is another issue. So it's me in the middle of a set, on my hands and knees, trying to sort out these scenes. These snapshots. It's not good. It doesn't look good, and you lose confidence in the product, obviously. So for me at the moment, I'm back on the OG, and I'm using the Stadium in the studio just for the time being. I will take it out, and I know they'll get it. I know they'll put it back together. There's no question. It's just the whole why release it, and then people are saying, well, you voted for it to get released. I didn't vote to get it released with bugs. We voted to, do you want showcase update or do you want it without showcase update? They were the options. There wasn't without showcase update and a load of bugs. That was never on the table. It was always, anyway. There's plenty of, go on the gear page if you want to argue about that, because there's loads, or you feel free to leave a comment on, by the way, while you're there, subscription might be great. Cheers. Yeah, so snapshots, big problem. What else have we got? Let me just have a look at my notes here, because I know there's so much stuff. High gain channels on the snapshots as well. I think I've covered that slightly, but we get volume swells almost like the compressor's doing some work. Now, that could be down to the whether you've got a compressor on or not, but it could also be down to the new hype parameter, because I think there's some compression going on in that. But anyway, just so you're aware, there's a problem in that. Yeah, so there was obviously the first thing they asked us to do was update. Unfortunately, why that should be a really easy thing on this, because it connects to the Wi-Fi, by the way, in your property or wherever you are, and it'll update automatically, a little red line update. It's not quite that straightforward. So a lot of people, and again, this hasn't happened to me. I've had disconnections, but I haven't had this particular disconnection. Just random disconnects or not connecting at all to the Line 6 servers, Is that a hardware issue? I don't know. I honestly don't know about this one. There's talk about it being something to do with NTP servers or, some network settings. I don't believe it is that. I think, just be aware that there are issues around Wi-Fi connection, which is unfortunate because it's the only way you can connect to the editor at the moment and do updates and transfer anything. It all has to go over Wi-Fi, which is a real pain in the ass, if I'm honest. Another big one for me, one that I have experienced twice, was what they're calling an idle state freeze. So if you leave the kit on for too long, not being used, DSP shuts down or goes to sleep, and you can't wake it up. Just no noise. Everything looks like it's working, nothing coming out of it. It's just not good, is it? I mean, surely to God somebody saw that at some point before it came out. Somebody left one switched on somewhere, I'm sure. Anyway, silver lining behind that one, yes, you can fix it. It's easy to fix. What you do, you switch the unit off and on again. That's a great IT fix, that. Switch it off and on again. You shouldn't really have to do that, obviously. And the drawback with that is, so the old Helix took about 15 seconds to start. I think something like that, 15, 18 seconds. Can't remember what it was. The new one takes 60 seconds. So the boot time from switching it on to being able to play anything is 60 seconds. Now, just think about that in the middle of a gig. No. If you go for a sound check, your Helix is there. You've done your sound check, everything's ready to go. Right, lads, let's go and have a beer. Go and have a beer. Thanks. Grab a beer. Come back. Right, are you ready? One, two, three. Back to fire up with your big power cord to start. Nothing. Then you've got to switch the thing off and wait a minute for it to come back on. Well, you're halfway through the first track. You know, this is just not good enough. So it's another biggie. It's a deal breaker, isn't it? It's one of them. What else? Switch it off and on again. Yes, I think I spoke about the network errors, you know, error 16s and error 12s, whatever they mean. And that's when people have been trying to download the latest firmware. So the server side for them, can't imagine it's everybody's PC. I've not had the trouble with it. I've not really had that problem. It's like I've had disconnections from the app, but I've only had, I don't think I've had any disconnections from Wi-Fi. And when I've downloaded updates, it's been absolutely fine. So it's not for everyone. Yeah, we've had scary splash screen freezers. So where somebody switches it on, it gets to the splash screen. Helix XL, Helix Stadium XL. It doesn't do anything else. It stays there. That's it. Again, it needs tracking. It needs tracking down and sorting out. We can't have that. You switch it off and on again, it's fine, but we can't keep doing that. You know, some bugs on the automation engine. The showcase came out at 1.2, which we kind of expected. That was going to be a new, completely new feature for Helix anyway. But having the problems with Showcase, I mean, combined with Snapshot problems, you have to time your changes of snapshots inside inside Showcase to be 100 milliseconds before you want them to happen. Well, yeah, we need to tighten this up, don't we? So another thing with the EQ stuff, not synchronizing correctly visually. You're getting the audio, you're getting the results that you're expecting, but not the actual. It's not updating the display. There's been some flickering on display on certain parametric EQs. Tiny things that don't actually affect the sound quality or anything or the performance, but just to be aware of, they make you a little bit unsure on stage. There was another one. What was it? Another one. Oh yeah, there was another one where the application and the unit isn't synchronized visually. Again, the parameter changes are reflected in the audio and the sound. However, they're not reflected on the actual unit, so it can look like the app and the unit are out of sync. So, for example, I can select a drive block that doesn't select on the app, so I can have the chorus block selected on the app, for example, which is a little bit off-putting when you're programming if you've got both things up at once. Now, my understanding is that this is part of the design, so it's designed into the unit, so it's a multiple client editing scenario, so someone off stage can have the edit up connected via Wi-Fi, and they can be making a few changes if or a sound guy can have it up and he can be doing that, and it's not affecting your screen, so you're not seeing that. It's not interfering with your performance view, which is great. It's just something that maybe needs communicating out and ensuring that the changes that are being made do synchronize at some point. There needs to be some kind of synchronization built into that, of course, at some point, not while you're performing. And it's probably a niche case. I wouldn't want my sound engineer messing around with my sound. Okay, he might be able to work on his outputs, his feed. That might be one scenario, but again, I think it probably just needs a little bit of communication around it and actually how that works in a real world use case. So there's lots and lots of other little things that are going on, like I said. Now, I suppose it's worth discussing, are there any, the actual unit itself. I'll just grab one. Yeah, so the actual unit itself, so I think it's quite robust. I know there's some hardware out there to protect this screen and thing. I think it's fine. I think it feels really, really strong to me. All the connections feel really good. We've got IEC, so we know that that's going to be good. I've put a little, I'll tell you what would have been useful from line 6 would have been to have these to cover up I don't know if you can see that. Just there inside Nexus port there, and in the USB-A. So what I've done, these were actually available on the original Helix, so I've used those just to stop dirt and crap getting in there, and that's just something I've 3D printed just to block off that port. And really, it's just to stop me doing daft things with it, shoving things in the wrong hole. Weird. There has been so on batch 1, my understanding, and again, I've not seen any of this. The OLED scribble strips on batch, I'm sure it was batch 1. Yeah, I think it was batch A or some batch 1 or something. Some of them were a DOA, some of them have started failing already. Now, I find that really difficult to get my head around because this thing went through so much quality control out in China. I know it did because I was watching the Facebook groups and they were doing it. And my understanding is that these particular scribble strips are the ones that they've been using on the HX1. So again, it may be isolated incidents. I don't think we're seeing millions and millions of these going out. So 5 or 6 incidents obviously can sound like quite a lot on those figures. So on the figures that they're selling, I know you can go on most retailers now and you can pick one of these up. You know, that initial rush to get one, as it's probably died off now, and I know we're waiting to receive the smaller Helix without the scribble strips, etc., without the volume pedal, which would be great, by the way. It looks like a great little unit, that, especially if you want to join, get it on a pedal board and add other things to it. I much prefer the all-in-one unit, the motherships. Okay, so shall we wrap it up then? So what's the conclusion to all this? Should you get one? It's 2,000 quid in it. In a day, 2,000 quid. Yes, it should be right. I agree with everybody that says it should be right. And I was on those forums. I was one of those shouting from the rooftop, this ain't good enough. And of course, you get the odd one or two sticking up for Line 6 and Yamaha. No need. I'm not saying anything that's not true. I'm just stating fact. And I'm frustrated. And a lot of people were frustrated when they got the unit. They couldn't take it out gigging. Past that now, let's get on with it. Let's get it sorted out. I think before we push that proxy stuff out, they need to get these other bits done. I wouldn't rush now. I'd get this stable, get this solid before we add anything else that's just going to muddy the waters in terms of bug hunting, etc. So, should you buy one? Should you get one? It's a difficult question, isn't it? There's a lot of stuff out there. Would I buy it again? Yes, I would. I was very excited about buying it, and I'm still really excited about the product now. I would buy it again. I've got every faith in Line 6. I know they're going to put this back together. I know they're going to sort it. One thing I'd wished is that it just, number one, is not have a committee decide if it's time to release it or not. There was no need to release it. They've been saying for so long that there isn't a product coming. Why? What was the rush? It's beyond me. If they'd not got it right, something else probably as well. I'm waffling, but something else Line 6 probably should be doing is having a word with all these people that got these units in April, and having a little word with them, and what's going off? Why didn't you say this? Why didn't you say it were knackered? Or what? I don't know. Am I wrong? I don't know. Should you buy one? I don't think you should buy one if you're relying on it to gig. No, not yet. That's unfortunate truth. I'm fortunate I've got other kit. Should you buy one? If you're in your studio and if you don't mind the odd crash or whatever, and it's not super critical, why not? It's the latest bit of kit. It sounds great. No, I'm not knocking any of it. It sounds absolutely brilliant, and the interface on that touch screen, and it's just not gig ready yet, and it's a shame. I'll probably take it out again. I'm kind of there with it. I understand where the problems are. I think I could work around it gig wise. My chains aren't that complex, so I wouldn't want to be doing too much external control and everything else from it at the minute. That'll come. I'm not happy using Showcase, so I've still got my laptop for backing tracks or anything else like that. And anyway, look, that's what I think. You can disagree with me, you can agree with me, you can say, well, that's told us a load of nothing, or whatever. As soon as I hear anything else, by the way, I'll update you now, and if I get an update that I think's worth talking about on the Helix, I shall come straight back, and I'll link to it from this video. But yeah, why not? You know, if it's not critical, if you're not using it critical, you know, your use case isn't live in front of 20,000 people, well, yeah, use it. Don't, you know, it's not the end of the world. If it goes shit on the night, just have a backup. Anyway, guys, thanks for listening. Listen, if you want hit that subscribe button or something, I'd love it. And I am bothered. I do care. I don't care, actually. No, you do what you want. Yeah, if you want to see anything in particular on the stadium, let me know. And if you want me to do some tone demos or anything like that, yeah, let me know. I'm just having a... What have I got here? Yeah, I've got the AM4 here, so I'm just going to have a muck about with that. And have a great week, folks. I'll see you soon. Ciao for now. Keep it real.